Well, I'm sure you can hear the generator running outside the shed toe. I got the fan on. There's no bulb in the light right now. I'll put one in there later. I've still got to put a light up underneath in the kitchen there, or in the dining area. But the receptacles are all wired in. There's one back here. There's one over there behind that box. There's one over there on the other side of the bed. There's two up above the counter by the sink. That one there. So yeah, we can run electricity in here, and it worked out fine. The generator has been sitting for about 1.5 years now, and it actually started on the first pull. It spit and sputtered a little bit. I had to start it a few more times, shot a little choke cleaner into the carburetor, and it took off, and it's running smoothly now. So yeah, the gas is still good in there, so it's working out great. Yeah, I love it. We have power for our guests if they want it. Okay, here's the breaker box. This is the switch that the fan is on, and also the light in the kitchen. And then there's the receptacle over by the piano bar, and this is the receptacle right next to the chair I was just sitting in. This is the galley receptacles, or right above the kitchen sink countertop. And this one here is for the two over by the bed. So if we've got guests and they want to run the generator and plug a light in, or an alarm clock or something, they can do so. This one over here is hidden behind this box way down there. Anyway, yeah, I'm liking it. So I bought some lumber. I'm going to trim out the door there for sure. Maybe this window, maybe that door. I've only got 6 sticks of lumber, so I can't do a whole lot, but I'll make it go as far as I possibly can. Then I'll go purchase some more. The price of lumber has skyrocketed because of COVID. That's their excuse anyway. But yeah, we just keep plugging along. Okay, this light's been in here since almost right after I got the place built. My wife has had it in the cabin. It was useless sitting in there, so we brought it out here, and I thought what I would do is put it over there by the door and set it up so that when you open the door, it would bump against the switch, which is right here on the floor, and turn the light on. My wife didn't like that idea, and I got thinking about it. I don't care for it either. So anyway, it's here. That receptacle works. So yeah, I definitely have the cabin wired, or shed toe rather. I definitely have the shed toe wired for electricity. Good morning, folks. It's Friday, and I've got surgery coming up on Monday. So I have to be COVID tested. So I'll be off. After I get tested, I have to quarantine until the surgery, and then I'll be off for a minimum of 4 weeks, if not longer. I had surgery 2 weeks ago, and I was COVID tested, and everything was fine, but got to get tested again, so here I am. Okay, well, that wasn't nearly as painful as the last time. The last time was extremely painful. So, as long as I don't hear anything from them, I'm good to go. I'll be able to have my surgery, and instead of walking around, I'll be hobbling around. Life's simple pleasures. Oh well. So I got to go to the cabin to self-quarantine for the next 3 days. And, so I got things that I can do out there, keep me busy. I should be able to shoot a lot of videos and maybe have something to put up in a couple of weeks. Okay, the lines are green. You can see them just barely. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up here at the top and notch all these where I'm going to make the bends. And I've got a set of sheet metal tools that I've had since I was 18 years old. So I'll be making the best of those at this time. So let's start with the dovetail notches. This is a dovetail notcher. At the very top where it's going to be folded over for rigidity, I want to put dovetail there. And a dovetail here. And what this does is this allows me to bend the aluminum, roll it completely over, and still be able to make a 90-degree bend along this line here in order to get the stand-up that I want. So I'll go ahead and notch here. And I don't really have to notch here with a dovetail notcher, but I'm going to just to keep them uniform. Same thing on this end. Okay, now I have to make a couple of cuts with my tin snips. So I'll go ahead and make those. What I'm going to do is I want this thing to stand up at an angle. I don't want it to stand straight up and square. I want it to lean towards the stove to help kind of deflect some of those spatters before they have a chance to get that far. So what this is a notch to allow me to fold my metal, and I'm going to roll a 1/2 inch here and then 3/4 of an inch, and this 3/4 of an inch will be the L shape that actually sits on the countertop. So I've got to come off at a 45-degree angle on both of these in here. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt a 45-degree cut. And this one, the same thing. 45-degree cut is a little bit different because of the angle of the sidewall. So I've got my 1/2 inch line here and my 3/4 inch line here. So these will be folded over. The 1/2 inches will be folded over to give it a little bit of rigidity, and then and not have a rough edge or a sharp edge. And then the 3/4 inch will be what I'd stand on. And I can actually cut these right on the line because they're going to fold up away from the corner. Same thing over here. I'm going to guesstimate a 45-degree angle. And then again over here. and I can cut these. Okay, now I'm ready to go to the brake. So I'm going to head to the brake. I'm going to bend this up and we'll see how it turns out. It might be a flop. We're about to find out. Well, this is a little heavier duty aluminum than my brake is accustomed to, so I'm going to have to use some old bar fold tools. Finish this seam down, and then I've got a cleat folder that I will use. To fold out the 1/2 inch portion, and then the 3/4 inch portion I'll take back out to the brake again. This bar fold works just fine. It brings the aluminum down tight, so it creates a seam which basically prevents anyone from getting cut. It rolls that edge underneath there so that nobody's going to get hurt. And that's the idea. I don't want anybody getting hurt. The end seams came out pretty good considering they're a lot shorter, and the brake could handle the shorter pieces. However, it would have been nice to have been able to fold them all with the brake. Been done with it. I don't get to use my brake very often. Bought it a long time ago and used it for my carpentry work, soffit work, roofing, stuff like that. It's nice to have it around. I've had neighbors borrow it, so at least somebody's getting some use out of it. And I used it at the last place that I worked a couple of times to do some work for him. Problem with this cleat folder is it's kind of beat up, because I'm not used to using the 1/2 inch fold portion of it. I'm used to using the 3/8 fold portion of it. But I will eventually get it on there. It just takes a while. Okay, I got it on there, so I'm going to show you how this works. Basically, you lay that against a solid table. I'll put it on the floor. And then just fold this over. Just like that, we've got a 1/2 inch cleat. That's used in heating and air conditioning for making a fold to put a cleat on to hold the ductwork together. So we've got the other one on the other side. Like I said, it's been beat up and abused, but I'm 64 years old and I bought this when I was 18 and I've still got it, so least it's still working. Okay, now I can take that out on the brake and bend that 1/2 inch bend. And probably bend the rest of them. Okay, here it is. I've got a 3/4 inch edge all the way around the bottom of it. Okay, I've got a 1/2 inch edge all the way around the top and both sides. So now it's ready. I can set it down, and you can see it leans slightly this way. That was what I designed it for, so that it'll help keep those spatters away from that wall. Okay, only thing left to do now is clean it up, polish it up, and put it out in the shed toe. Thought I'd better bring it out to the shed toe to see if it fits. And yeah, it fits perfectly. So this is a fairly large frying pan, and it's what we use out here all the time. So it can be moved, that thing can be moved back closer to the wall if need be, but it can also be moved up, right up to there if we're using a smaller pan. But anyway, it's going to serve the purpose that we want, keeping the grease off of that wall. So yeah, nice little DIY project. Okay, I decided to try something a little different tonight. I've got pork chops, and I fried them in olive oil, and I put some Old Bay seasoning on them, and I didn't fry them on a high heat, it's just a low heat, but anyway, oh, they're so good. Nice and tender, slow cooked. Flavor is fantastic. Of course, nice buttery carrots help a lot too. Yeah. Gonna be a long weekend. Okay, I'm in the lake end of the shed toe, and this door has not been closing properly. And what has happened, it's jammed up against the jamb, and so I crawled underneath. I thought maybe that post had settled because of the weight of the wood stove and the stone there, but the post hasn't settled. What happened is the floor joist on the end has sagged, so I've got to get underneath there and jack that up, and I'm going to have to put something underneath of it to hold it. If I had a helper here, what I would do is I would buddy up another 2x8 treated along that end to give it the extra strength to bring that back up where it belongs. But I don't have a helper. It's all by myself today, so hey, let's get her done. No, that's not a DeWalt. It's a ProTech. It's a DeWalt wannabe. But hey, make short work of a little job. Okay, those pieces will go up underneath the shed toe on a concrete block. I'll jack it up, get it where I want it. Okay, I started jacking it up, and I went inside and checked, and I had it up where I wanted it, but when I let it down on the block, it sagged right back down. So I got to jack it up some more and get these blocks underneath of it, go from there. Okay, hopefully that's enough. I'm going to go inside and look. Okay, you can see a gap there. Well, let's unlock the whole thing. Look at there. it works. So now I got to make some adjustments in the door jamb here so that the door closes tight. It's still not up as high as it needs to be. It needs to be up a little more. Well, I decided to do the back door first. So I got the sides up. Now I'm getting ready to put the top in. And then the window will have to be a slightly narrower piece along that wall, but it's still going to be covered. So. Okay, the front door is trimmed out. I had to cut around the power box. And I had to do a little adjustment for the quarter round up against the ceiling. No problem. I had to cut around that light switch. And I cut excess out here because I don't want to have to reach around and scrape my hand trying to turn on the light switch. So yeah, there's a little extra cut out of there. I don't mind. But the hole's covered. That's all I care about. So, 2 doors trimmed. I got 1 piece of trim left. All of my windows have got to be shimmed out in order to accommodate the 3/4 inch thick car siding as opposed to 1/2 inch thick drywall. But it's coming along nicely. I got plenty of boards, plenty of shim stock, so I can make this happen. It probably won't happen today, but eventually it will. Well, I finally got the screen door on the back of the shed toe. Part of the reason I was holding off on that was because of the door being out of whack and not being able to open it. But I got 2 coats of tung oil on it. It's looking really good. It's going to be a super hot day today. It's supposed to get up to 95. They were predicting 97 yesterday, so I guess we're going to have a little bit of a cold snap down to 95. It's going to be pretty warm. The humidity's not real high right now, so it's not too bad. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And leave any comments or questions in the comment section down below the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and click that little bell icon to get notified whenever I put up a new video. Thanks for watching.